Hey, Mr. McLaren here. So I want to go over a couple different parts of this assignment. We'll just kind of go through it chronologically with the PhET simulation, then the drawings on there, and then the Venn diagram. So the first part here, what I want you to do basically is give me some pictures or examples of an element and of a compound. Now, I would like you to try and actually build these in this little simulation that we've got linked here. It's a pretty cool simulation. Basically you get to like just play around with the different atoms in these different elements or compounds. um I honestly like the playground the most. There are some more basic ones with those, but basically you put these things on here and they kind of attach to each other if they can, and they won't if they can't. So you can do something like that and be like, oh, what is that, what is that chemical right there? Oh, that's methanol. Okay. So you can like build things, and you can build these different compounds, which, remember, those are at least two different elements. And then the alternative is an element, right? So only having one type of atom. So only having like oxygen or something. Um or something like that. So then that's like, oh, that's an example of that. So there's a ton of different ways to do screenshots. It's gotta depend on your device. I'll put something on the slides here, on slides 2 and 3, linking you how to do those different screenshots for different devices. For me, because I'm on a PC, I just use the snip tool. But I know that everyone's got like different devices. With the Chromebooks, there's that screenshot button that's like at the top. But yeah, I'll have a link for that. So you get your screenshot, you gotta put it in here, and this should be an element because yes, there's two different um, chlorines there, but they're both chlorine. So this is still what we would consider to be an element, this substance. So you're gonna give me at least one element, one compound. I've already shown you one there. I would like you to do a different one than the one that I just showed you there. There's a couple more that you can do in that simulation. For the next part, you're going to be trying to figure out which one of the pictures best matches what we're being described on that slide. So here we're looking for a picture that shows an element that could be helium, and the symbol for helium is He. So we're going to move this red circle over the different option that we think matches this best. So for this one, I'm looking at element. I know it's not a compound. So immediately, I know that this looks like two different atoms. So immediately I'm like, probably not that one. So it's one of these two. I think it's telling us just about that one element. We don't know anything about any other elements here at all, so it doesn't sound like a mixture to me. I think it's option C. And then you would type out your response here. And so you do the same thing for carbon dioxide. So you're going to have to identify, okay, well, as a compound, what would this look like? And then in this case, we have a mixture. So now you've got a mixture of these two different elements. So now you got to figure out, what does that look like? Is that the same as a compound, or is that different? For the final piece, there's a Venn diagram. You're going to need to put some text boxes on here to type in here. So you're going to need to make these, because honestly, you're going to need to resize the box to get just the right size that you want. You're probably going to also need to change like the font size to get just to be the right font size for your Venn diagram. And yeah, you'll get that filled out as much as you can with as much information as you can. If you think that there's something that all these things have in common, put it in the middle. There's some things that only compounds and mixtures have in common, put that in there. I can think of a couple things right off the bat that could go in there. That there's something similar with compounds and mixtures that's different than elements, essentially. There's also some things that are in common with compounds and elements that are different than a mixture. So there's a number of things that you could put into these different sections, but again, you're going to need to grab those text boxes and kind of put them in there. And if you want to resize these circles, feel free to do that. That'd be fine. That'd be totally fine if you're like, I can't type in a space that small, right? You can do that. Keep in mind, if you double click on this, you're gonna be prompted to type in the circle. I'd recommend using text boxes because then you can resize and move them around a little bit easier. A little bit more flexible, essentially. All right, cool. I'll see you guys around.